shared what's going on in the 1809 Kriegsspiel. And I'm afraid if I don't do this right now, we're going to be out of date. So I have to do it. This is Dawn, as those who follow along with these games know. 40:04:30 is dawn. We've gone through a whole other day. It's now the 21st day of April, and a lot has happened, so let's dive in. I really should tidy the place up more before I come, in case we haven't discussed it. These are all my markers by which I measure distances conveniently. Lay the stick down and away we go. Let's start down here. Munich has been abandoned by everyone. Everybody's left Munich. This unit of Colbert, his cavalry, has come all the way down here from Freising to say, hey, there's nobody in Munich, and why not? Well, that's because early yesterday, these fellas under... Where are they? There they are. These fellas under Lann left Dachau. Remember, they were defending Dachau? And they marched all the way up here. Well, these fellows under Kienmeyer, and remember, these are excellent troops. These fellows under Kienmeyer realized they had scampered away, attacked Dachau, assaulted Claperd's one brigade here, which is now routed and is going to flee off the map, essentially. But they've come up along here, and now they're marching after. Late last night, General Kienmeyer sent a little group up, a little patrol up to Gross Nobach to find out, well, which way did the French go? And, well, it wasn't too hard for them to figure out. Matter of fact, they almost got caught. So they dashed off this way. This has been such a strange situation. We have Marshal Lann up here, looking at all this, getting ready to do heaven knows what. We have Marshal Massena, who has been here for a day, parked at that bridge. And over here we have Liechtenstein, who's on the other side, and he's determined to hold out. So the risk here is that Lann will get caught between Kienmeyer and Liechtenstein, and Massena won't rouse himself in time to assist in his attack. So this one's going to be bad. We'll see. But there's been such inaction, it is remarkable. That's not been the case here, where we are very, very close to what could prove a decisive, if not the decisive, battle. It's incredibly hard to describe what happened simply, so I won't try. I'll just say this. Napoleon, riding hard, finally caught up with Davout after Davout had marched all the way from Regensburg. Remember that? He marched all the way from Regensburg down here, got involved in a shattering battle in Landshut, where he really put the Austrians on their heels. Then he marched all the way this way, knowing there were no bridges over the Isar. And he crossed over here at Landau. And then he came all the way over here. He has marched all that way to arrive here on the right flank of the Austrian forces guarding Landshut. The Austrians have taken Landshut. They own it now. They finally kicked out the French. Lefebvre, who marched his Bavarians over this way, heard of the battle, turned around, and came back this way. So he's ready to deploy for a fight. So they're ready to fight. They're ready to fight. We'll see. It seems like we're going to have a pretty big scrap. I mean, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 corps. So that's an awful lot, right? Up here, Ratisbon has fallen. I think we got that information. If we didn't, it's fallen. And now you have 1, 2, 3 corps. Now this corps under Hiller is still peeking a bit over here at Van Damme, who's wondering, he was trying to persuade his colleagues on the French side, I've got a problem. In fact, I've got half the Austrian army in front of me. Please help. And so they're still sitting here at Bad Abbach. Over here, we've had a little bit of a fight as these Württembergers have tried to make their way back to Van Damme. They're part of his corps, but they've been seen by this 6th Corps, which doesn't know what to do, so they're sort of frozen. I still haven't decided how that's going to work out. Charles has countermarched his boys back this way. They marched all the way from here. Now remember, the Austrians are deadly slow. So they are marching slowly back here to Straubing because they fear, they have heard, again, that the French have seized Straubing, which is incredibly important because Straubing, along with Deggendorf and along with Passau, are their only lines of communication. So if the French were to get behind them, but Davout, instead of sweeping this way, which would have been devastating to the Austrian cause had he been able to hold this, instead moved this way and has marched over here. So they do now hold Straubing, even though Charles and Colerath don't know that. Also, he has directed Bellegarde to countermarch, which is going to be an incredibly long march down this way to Straubing, and he's going to do that. They're trying to secure their route of retreat. Very sensible, but it's going to cost them precious troops. Meanwhile, you've got these other fights developing without this massive Austrian presence. I will also say that we continue to wait for the arrival up here in the north of the last Austrian Corps, which was significantly delayed by orders from the Austrian High Command early in the going. Whew, that's an awful lot. And in case folks are wondering, these are messages arriving. And this here is a captured message. The French, for several hours, held this bridge at Landau, and all these messages trying to get to Charles wound up either being captured or significantly delayed. Now they're fine to cross over here at Landau, but up here, we still have Saint-Sulpice's tired troops. You can see how fatigued they are up there. They are still up here waiting to get better orders and find out what's going on. So that's what we know. That's the story so far. We're over a year and a half into this one, and I think we might again be getting close to a finish. But I don't know. I'm just the umpire. We'll see what the people do. In any event, thanks for joining us for this installment, and we'll see